Hi, welcome to the News Agenda for Monday, May 31st. Happy Pride Month. Oh, I can't wait to be marketed to. I guess it's better than the alternative, which is to be marketed to for some other reason. But today is also Speak in Complete Sentences Day. Maybe? I'm not whatever. I hope everything on here looks okay. I had a catastrophic equipment failure on my main PC. Yeah, it was pretty bad, but because I was taking a week off anyway from the News Agenda for my new job, I was able to get things together and fix it, hopefully, in at least a way that is completely invisible to you. So I hope that my time away has caused you to remember, though, how much you love me and how much you should like and subscribe. Our top news story today is the Republicans blocking a commission to investigate the events of January 6th. Mitch McConnell, seen here watching a child drown in his pool, spearheaded the effort, calling on his caucus to vote against the measure when it came to theoretically break a filibuster. 3 Republican senators voted for it: Collins, Romney, and Murkowski. One of the key issues, according to Republicans, is that the commission would not also focus on unrelated left-wing violence across the country. Finally, a government that wants to multitask. The vote came after Gladys Sicknick, mother of slain police officer Brian Sicknick, and Officer Sicknick's girlfriend, Sandra Garza, met with several Republicans in order to urge them to vote for the commission. A source close to the meeting says that Sicknick asks why Republicans aren't voting for the commission. How could they not be doing the right thing, she said. I hate to make fun of her for that statement, so I'm not going to, but it's just very sad. But to be fair to the senators that voted against the commission, the former president might put a statement up on his blog. 13 senators wouldn't even meet with the mother of the slain officer, mostly because they were afraid of her. In predictable news, another mass shooting happened. Well, probably a few, just a couple that we know of. One that was most covered these past couple weeks was one in San Jose, where a man killed 9 people and then himself in a light trail yard. Apparently, the shooter had 22,000 rounds of ammunition in his home, which leads me to wonder what in the world did he have all that if he didn't bring it to the shooting? He only fired 39 shots, which means his old rampage was rather silly. I mean, be prepared, but he only shot 0.1% of his ammunitions that day. I guess his eyes overloaded his ammo belt. Also in shooting news, another shooting happened this past Saturday evening, injuring 20 at a Miami club. When asked about the motive, the shooter said that the Miami sound machine was going to get him, and he was very afraid. Also in criminal news, Tennessee has announced that the recent laws passed about transgender people in bathrooms has penalties, which means that they have not only made people illegal in Tennessee, but also being a good ally. The sponsor for the law is Representative Tim Rudd, seen here as a natural habitat, watching for the trans people that pee. He's previously said that the bill had no penalties, and that was apparently a lie. But it's all good. Aides said that Rudd has kept his toes and fingers crossed for the entire week, so it technically wasn't a lie, and he would totally still get into heaven. In World Going Around the Sun news, the George Floyd murder anniversary was last week, and keeping up with America's tradition, police have killed the same number of people in the past year than they have the year before. Police call this "do not give a fuck." In This Is Fine news, the president of Belarus is facing criticism for hijacking a commercial airplane. Once the airplane touched down in his country, the police forces arrested a journalist and his girlfriend. Lately, the president of Belarus, a Putin puppet, said that the reason they had the plane land was that there was a bomb on board the plane, which is very suspicious since once the plane landed, nothing was found. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko went on and said, "Besides, that was the same pretense the United States made to go to war in Iraq in 2003. Very fair. Very fair. In coronavirus news, while the United States continues to make efforts to vaccinate the public, we're now again looking to the past, where Joe Biden, president, has asked the intelligence community to research the origins of the virus itself. Some new reports have shed doubt on the currently accepted theory of animal to human transmission and instead postulate that the disease came from a laboratory. It might be expected that China is not happy about this change in perspective. Now, I don't want to postulate that nobody has seen Dexter's laboratory in quite some time, but I think this seems like something he would totally do. We could make everybody happy if we just blame it on the kid. Most people do say that if it came from a lab, it would have been released on accident, which is kind of worrisome because it would tell us that Chinese are just about as bad as we are as keeping secrets. In Quizling news, Caitlyn Jenner has called for a review board to determine if trans girls were really trans or faking for all the sports glory, despite the increased risk of violence, bigotry, and being compared to Caitlyn Jenner. In I Hate the 90s news, there was a reunion of the TV show Friends, and without giving too much away, it was still terrible. In international love news, Boris Johnson got married in a secret ceremony this week. The Dark Lord Thatcher rose from hell and blessed the happy couple. Vice President Kamala Harris in the United States came under fire this weekend for tweeting, "Enjoy the long weekend." And people were upset naturally because it showed that the Vice President had forgotten the reason for Memorial Day: furniture sales. In consequence culture news, the company Hatworks out of Nashville will no longer be able to sell Stetson products. The store, owned by a really fucking terrible person, was selling Stars of David with the words "not vaccinated" embroidered on them. He, of course, has already claimed he had no idea about his insensitivity of his actions because he's not that big of a fan of World War II movies. He should have gone out of business for how he fucking spelled Hatworks. In pop culture news, John Davis died at 66, most likely related to COVID-19. If you don't know who he is, I don't blame you, but he's most famous for being one of the actual singers behind the lip-syncing duo Milli Vanilli. If you want to go to his grave to show respects, you should look for the site listed under Fabrice Moravan from Milli Vanilli. And anyway, that's the news agenda for Monday, May 31st, 2021. I'm still getting used to the swing of things with my new job, but I hope to be back on a schedule this week, putting on a show and everything else. I'm pretty busy. I'll be performing on the 24th of June in Aurora, Illinois at the Comedy Shrine. The show is called Tea Time at the Shrine, and it's a very, very gay thing. It's very pride-oriented. I hope you decide to come, or tell your friends that are in Chicago to come, or, that'll be great. Whatever you do, please come. Please come. I hope that you'll be there. So thanks, and remember, I love you.